So the question is, how do we get there? And that's the tricky part. And here's my idea in a kind of an analogy of a solution. This is the G7 suspended 4 chords for the guitarists in the audience. And there should be a sound coming. Now for the non-millennials in the room, who knows what's going to follow next? There you go. This is the song I'm talking about. And you would think, what does a Beatles chord have to do with where healthcare is going to go? And here's the analogy that I want to make. I mean, first of all, I think you need to know I'm a big Beatles fan, but that aside, you know, when that song came out, or when actually the Beatles in 1964 were going to make their first musical movie called A Hard Day's Night, their legendary producer, George Martin, said, you know, musical films actually have a bad reputation. They're usually used as a vehicle to promote the career of the artist, and those movies were for Elvis Presley and Cliff Richard. If you want to make a piece of art that stands on its own, you actually have to make sure you have something to captivate the audience with from the first side of the movie onwards. And so the Beatles came up with that beguiling opening chord of A Hard Day's Night. And it sounds like a G7 suspended 4 chord on a single guitar. But people started listening to that and said, no, it's actually not a single guitar. It's actually something more complicated. And for 5 decades, and there's a lot of study being published, people tried to figure out, well, how did actually that sound come about? Because it's not a single guitar. And the thing is, and in 2012, the son of that producer, George Martin, actually revealed it, and he said, no, it's actually 4 different instruments playing a specific chord, and that sounds like that G7 suspended 4 chord. And it's been named a magical mystery chord because nobody ever could figure out exactly how that sound came about. But here's the analogy I want to make. If we want to go, and I think the solutions are clear, outcomes-based medicine, value-based healthcare, working together between farm companies and tech companies, that's where the future is going. And the opportunities are unparalleled. But how to make it happen is to make sure that we create alignment with all of the stakeholders. We cannot, not a single party can do this alone. And so the thing is, we in healthcare have to find our magical mystery chord as well in working together between payers, patients, pharmaceutical industry, governments, you name it. If we do not come together, anything we have as a solution will be actually set for failure. And that's a harder thing to do. I mean, as a pharmaceutical industry, we have a reputation going against us, so often we're not invited at the table. But the only way we're going to fix this issue, and like I said, I think the path is clear, is by working together and by striking or finding that magical mystery chord that we in healthcare also have to find. And we can sure as hell not wait 5 decades for it. We actually have to find it soon because patients are waiting.